In the beginning, when the earth was young and the skies still whispered with the breath of creation, the sons of men multiplied across the lands. Their daughters were born beautiful, radiant as dawn itself, their laughter filling the valleys, their eyes glimmering like rivers under sunlight. And far above, in the high places of eternity, the watchers, angels of the Most High, stood gazing upon the earth. They had been appointed guardians of men, watchers over the order of the world. But what began as wonder soon turned to desire. Their hearts trembled as they looked upon the daughters of men. They spoke among themselves and said, "Come, let us descend. Let us take wives from among the children of men, and beget for ourselves children of our own." But Semjaza, their leader, hesitated. His countenance was bright with sorrow and conflict. He said, "I fear that you will not agree to do this thing, and I alone will bear the burden of a great sin." Yet the others, 200 in number, replied, "Let us all swear an oath. Let us bind ourselves by a sacred vow. Together, we will not abandon this plan."
The life we once bore, to walk this earth as one. No return, no regret, so let it be.
They called the mountain Hermon, meaning the mountain of the oath. And there the heavens trembled, the descent of the watchers. Their leaders were mighty and terrible in splendor: Samlazaz, Arakelba, Ramil, Kokabel, Tamlel, Ramlel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakijal, Asael, Amaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zaklel, Samsapil, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, and Sariel. Each commanded hosts, chiefs of tens, powerful and radiant once, but soon to be shadowed in shame. They took wives from among the daughters of men, and the women, enticed by their beauty and knowledge, bore them children. But these were no ordinary children. They grew as giants, Nephilim, the mighty ones of old, towering beings whose height was beyond imagination. They consumed all that men possessed. They devoured cattle, harvest, and soon the flesh of men. The world trembled beneath their feet. Blood stained the rivers. And the cries of the oppressed rose up to heaven. As Genesis says, "The sons of God saw that the daughters of men were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man." Genesis 6:2-3. The giants turned their strength to violence. They sinned against birds and beasts, devouring the creatures of the earth, and even drinking their blood. The very ground groaned in pain. Then the earth itself cried out against the lawless ones. And it was Azazel who first betrayed heaven's secrets. He taught men to forge swords and knives, shields and breastplates. He revealed the hidden metals of the earth and the art of war. He adorned women with bracelets, ornaments, and paints of the eyes, turning innocence into vanity, beauty into pride. He taught the working of precious stones and the mixing of colors. And with this knowledge, men turned to violence and women to deception. There arose upon the earth great wickedness, and corruption spread like disease. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros revealed how to undo spells. Barakijal taught astrology, the mapping of stars. Kokabel unveiled the secrets of the constellations. Ezekiel taught the mysteries of the clouds. Arakiel gave the signs of the earth. Shamsiel showed the path of the sun. Sariel revealed the course of the moon. Knowledge that once belonged to heaven was now scattered among men, but corrupted, twisted, and used for evil. The giants grew in arrogance. They enslaved men, trampled the earth, and filled the world with death. The cries of the perishing rose up beyond the clouds. to the very gates of heaven. Then the holy ones of heaven, Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, looked down from the heights of eternity. They saw the rivers of blood, the corruption of creation, and the cries of souls rising in torment. And they said among themselves, "The earth, once pure, once blessed, now cries out to the gates of heaven. The voices of men rise up pleading for justice before the Most High." So they approached the throne of the Ancient of Days. Before the glory of the Lord they bowed and said, "O Lord of Lords, King of Kings, God of the ages, nothing is hidden from your sight. You see what Azazel has done, teaching men all unrighteousness and revealing the heavenly secrets. You see Samlazars and his host who have defiled themselves with the daughters of men. The women have borne giants, and the whole earth is now filled with blood and corruption. The souls of men cry out without ceasing, 'Lord of heaven, what shall we do concerning them?' And the Most High, holy and great, spoke with a voice that shook creation. He said, 'All things I have seen, and nothing escapes my sight. I will now bring judgment upon the watchers who left their stations in heaven.' Then the Lord said to Uriel, 'Go to the son of Lamech, go to Noah, and tell him, in my name, hide yourself, for soon the end shall come upon the earth. A great flood will cleanse the world, for every creature is corrupted, and the earth shall be destroyed. But I will preserve you and your seed, for in you I have found righteousness.' And Uriel departed in a blaze of light, descending through clouds thick with sorrow. Meanwhile, the Lord commanded Raphael, saying, 'Bind Azazel, hand and foot. Cast him into the darkness. Make a pit in the desert of Dudael, and hurl him there. Lay upon him jagged stones, and cover him with blackness, that he may see light no more until the day of judgment, and heal the earth that he has corrupted. To Azazel ascribe all sin.' Then the Lord said to Gabriel, 'Go forth against the offspring of the watchers, against the giants and the children of corruption. Let them destroy one another in battle, for they shall not live long upon the earth. Their fathers shall plead for them, but I will not hear. Let them perish by their own hands.' And to Michael the Lord said, 'Bind Samlazars, the leader, and all who followed him. Cast them into the valleys of the earth for 70 generations, until the day of their final judgment, when they shall be cast into the fire everlasting.' And so it was decreed, that every shadow born of rebellion shall meet its end in chains, that the sons of heaven who defiled themselves shall never again ascend to the light. After the decree of the Most High, a strange stillness fell upon creation. The winds slowed, the stars dimmed their songs. The watchers, once radiant beings of light, now trembled under the shadow of their rebellion. Below them, their giant sons, monstrous and fierce, began to turn against one another. The earth shook with their wars. Their roars split mountains, and the rivers ran red with the blood of the mighty. The women wept, the men hid, the earth itself mourned. And heaven wept too. The angels Michael, Raphael, Uriel, and Gabriel stood at the edge of eternity, gazing upon the ruin of the world they once guarded. And they said, 'This was not how it was meant to be.' Then came forth the word of the Lord, a sound not of thunder, but of eternity itself. 'Let the corruption of the watchers be bound. Let their names be erased from the heavens. Let my creation be cleansed.' And thus began the great purification. Raphael descended with light brighter than suns. He found Azazel chained in the desert, his eyes like smoldering coals, his form bound by fire. Raphael raised his hand and declared, No more shall you walk among men. You have taught them war and vanity and pride. You have defiled the daughters of the earth and corrupted the sons of heaven. To you, Azazel, all sin is ascribed. He hurled him into the pit of Dudael, a barren place of broken stone, and the darkness closed over him like a tomb. Gabriel, mighty in war, led legions of holy fire against the Nephilim. They rose, these giants of old, roaring against the sky, but their strength failed before the command of God. They turned upon one another, blade against blade, bone against bone, until silence swallowed their cries. Michael descended last, bearing the authority of judgment. He bound Semjaza and his hosts, the 200 who had sworn the oath on Mount Hermon. Their wings were torn with sorrow. Their eyes burned with shame. He sealed them in the valleys of the earth, deep beneath the mountains, to await 70 generations until the great day of reckoning. And over them the Lord spoke, "You shall have no peace nor forgiveness. The destruction of your children you shall behold, and over their loss you shall lament forever." But upon the earth one man still walked in righteousness, Enoch, the seventh from Adam, the man who walked with God and was not, for God took him. Genesis 5:24. In those days Enoch was hidden. No one among men knew where he dwelt, for his days were spent in communion with the holy ones. He had seen visions of heaven. He had heard the whispers of eternity, and the watchers, now bound in sorrow, sent for him. Enoch, they called, scribe of righteousness, come to us. You who walk in light, intercede for us before the Lord of heaven. We have fallen, we have sinned. We cannot lift our eyes to the Most High. Write for us a petition, that we may find forgiveness. Enoch, moved by their trembling, wrote their words upon sacred scrolls, every plea, every cry for mercy. Then he journeyed to the waters of Dan, near the mountain of Hermon, and there he sat in silence. He read their petition until sleep overcame him. And behold, as Enoch slept, a vision came upon him, vast and terrible. He saw the heavens open, and a voice of fire spoke, saying, "Enoch, messenger of light, go to the watchers who have left the holy heights. Tell them, you shall have no peace. The judgment against you is sealed. You have defiled yourselves with the daughters of men and taught secrets forbidden. You shall never again ascend to heaven. The blood of your children cries against you." And the earth shook beneath the sound of that voice. When Enoch awoke, his spirit trembled. He arose and went to the place where the watchers sat, in the valley of Abel's Jael, between Lebanon and Senneser, their faces hidden in shame, their bodies wrapped in grief. Enoch spoke softly, yet his words burned like light. "I have seen your end. I have heard the decree of the Most High. Your petition shall not be granted. The earth will be cleansed. Your sons shall perish. You shall be bound till the day of the great judgment. Your tears shall not be heard, and fear seized them all. Their glory faded like dying stars. They wept, and the mountains echoed their sorrow. Then the voice of the Lord came again to Enoch in visions of light. After the judgment, peace shall return. The seed of righteousness shall flourish. The earth shall be tilled in holiness. Every tree shall bear fruit in abundance. The vine shall yield wine, and the olive shall pour forth oil. No longer shall the cry of blood be heard in the land. Truth and peace shall walk together. And I, the Lord, will open the chambers of blessing in the heavens and pour them upon the works of men. The nations shall worship me. The world shall be clean of sin. Never again shall I destroy it as in the days of the flood. And Enoch bowed his head and worshipped the eternal King. His face shone like the morning light. He blessed the Lord of majesty and wrote all that he had seen. But soon he was taken, for none among men knew where he was. He was hidden by the hand of God to dwell with the holy ones, until the appointed day when all mysteries would be revealed. And thus ends the tale of the Watchers, the angels who fell for love, who traded heaven for dust, and whose sin birthed giants that drowned the earth in blood. From their fall came the flood, and from the flood, a new beginning. Even now, the mountains whisper their story, and when storms roll over Hermon, the wind still carries the echoes of their ancient oath. For though they were mighty, they forgot the law of heaven, that beauty without obedience becomes ruin, and knowledge without purity becomes death. But in the end, righteousness triumphed. The earth was renewed, and Enoch's words remain, a testimony of light against the shadows. The watchers fell, but heaven still watches. For every sin births a flood, and every flood prepares the way for grace.